Okay, so this week we're in a slightly different setting. Last week I was just in our, I would say, main room, but since my girlfriend and I live in an apartment where we only have like one main room and this bathroom, and we're both working from home. So, I mean, considering Corona, it's not the most practical thing if I just start talking in our main room. So, I set up this. Little studio right here in our bathroom. It was quite a challenge to not make it like super echoey in here. So I hope I managed to do a pretty okay job at that. But I'm sure I'll find out. Um, so anything, yeah. So. But the thing I wanted to talk about this week, just want to make it slightly different from what I did last week. I'm obviously still experimenting around with this format. Um, but last week I think, although I still want to keep it in like addition to the weekly summary I'm gonna be doing in a blog format. Last week I intended to like cover everything I did during the week, but I don't want to make this like a 1 hour vlog. So I'm just gonna pick out three things for this week that stood out to me, and I'm just gonna expand on those, and then yeah, see how I feel about that. Um, the three things I basically want to talk about this week that stood out to me are one, I seem to like last night I had some interesting thoughts about like what I'm actually doing at this phase of my life. So I want to like share that insight with you. I also learned, and that basically ties into the first one, how posting more on social media is actually gonna help me without like overthinking about the topics and like what you're gonna like, and like try to assume that I know what's gonna be of value to you. Just post more, and I learned some interesting things about that this week. And then the last thing is just, yeah, I just want to share about how I'm currently experiencing like the coaching that I'm doing with runners, which is like, which I would consider one of the two things I'm currently doing like for a living. So, I don't know why I did that. I mean, it's supposed to be for a living. So, yeah, so let's start off with the first one. Um, so the clarity that I'm gaining at this point is that at this phase in my life, I seem to be doing like, I think, two different things. The first one for me is really like realigning what I do for a living, way more with who I am. So basically, because I believe it'll get me to the point, and I'm already experiencing that I'm just gonna enjoy what I'm doing. For a living way more, and I totally think it's possible to do something you enjoy and make money from it and make it just some like a practical thing. So that's obviously one of the teams that I'm coming across at this point. And then the second thing is that, and that's also I think what this vlog is about, and all the things I'm doing on social media are about, is there's just some profound changes that I've experienced in my life, and a lot of which actually, I mean, in hindsight, seem to be like in my control. I mean, there's things that I've changed, and hence my experience of life has changed. And at this point, I don't see why that couldn't do the same thing. Couldn't be similar for you. So that's why I just want to share these lessons, these insights, the things I've learned about myself, and then see what's of interest to you, and see if I can, let's say, strike a balance to share more about what's of interest to me, and like then striking the balance with things that add value to you, because there's a lot of things that I enjoy sharing about, but I mean, it's not up to me to decide what's of value to you. So, and honestly, that ties into the second. How should I put? Yeah, the second point that I want to talk about this week, and because the way that I'm gonna find this balance between what I enjoy sharing about and what's of interest to you or what's relevant to you, is really just by sharing more. Um, I only have my perspective, and yeah, I mean, how should I put it? I think there's definitely value in my perspective, but it's not because something has helped me that or it's not because I talk about the three things that changed my life the most, that those are going to be the three things that are going to be most of most impact to you. So that's why I just want to share more about the things that I enjoy talking about without necessarily assuming that it's going to be of high or low value to you, because this week I basically experienced that something that I didn't necessarily consider like to be an interesting question spiked the most interest with you guys. So that's why, um, if anything, I also would like to like nudge you. If you feel like sharing about things, just do. I mean, obviously, if it's something that you enjoy doing, I mean, don't spend any time there if it's just training you. But there's just, I believe, a lot of value in just sharing what we're doing, sharing the things that we're learning, and then, I mean, honestly, we'll find out if something resonates with anybody else. And so that's what I'm learning this week as well. It's obviously it's still like a minor spike, I would say, in terms of like the amount of interest that has been spiked. Um, but I mean, I'm planning on doing this for at least the rest of the year. So I'm sure that if I can see some things like in only only a week, I mean, I'm just curious to see what the things I'm gonna learn like by the end of the. I'm just curious to see what the things I'm gonna learn like by the end of this year. So, um, yeah, so that's something that's another thing I wanted to share with you. So just basically, um, yeah, quantity over perfect production quality. Yeah, if you want to summarize it that way. Um, and then yeah, so and then the third thing, and it also ties into the first thing I talked about today, is um, the fact that I'm figuring out what I enjoy doing, and how I can make a living from that. And so, although I'm technically not making, uh, I mean, not earning a full living from it, because I'm coaching people at this point, but a lot of it is for free. Um, I can totally tell how much I enjoy it. It's like it's night and day, but with where I come from, and like in terms of the jobs that I used to be doing, and like the engineering context, and they just don't compare. I mean, honestly, yeah, I know. I mean, at some point, I'm probably gonna have to like maybe fence off the time I spent with people talking about these things. But at this point, I don't see why I would do that. I'm having way more like coaching calls, and I enjoy these things so much. I I have a challenge like, um, I mean, I try to be mindful of the time people are spending talking to me, but uh, yeah, I just really enjoy. I enjoy getting to know them. I enjoy to understand what motivates them, how to I mean, keep them engaged in the training process, provide them with structure if that's what they need. Um, yeah, there's I don't know. It's just a way different dynamic from what I was used to back in the days when I was yeah, in my engineering job. Um, I mean, another way to put it maybe is that back in the day I was really trying to I mean, I was just counting hours, and now it's like I'm still being mindful of time, but it's like, oh my God, I'm putting in too much time, and it's such a very different dynamic. So if anything, with this third point, I just want to express gratitude. I'm just really grateful that I made this change, and I just have a hard time seeing how, with the amount of energy and enthusiasm I'm experiencing on a daily basis about this topic, I just can't. I just can't believe that I'm not gonna make like can make just a decent living from this. So honestly, that's why I don't intend to bother too much with like the financial part of it. I mean, honestly, obviously, I'm gonna like put out some rates, and yeah, I'm gonna charge people, but uh, I just don't want to like overcomplicate this, and I just want to continue to enjoy what I'm doing. And yeah, I think the financial part is just gonna, I'm just gonna figure itself out basically. Um, yeah, it's just it's just I'm having too much fun, and I just trust things will um how should I put it? Things will turn out well. So yeah, so basically these were my the three things I wanted to touch upon for this week. I have no idea if it's gonna be similar next week or different. I mean, I'm sure I'll find out. I still don't expect these to be my most perfect pieces of content, but I'm just really grateful I continue to put them out because yeah, the amount of things that I even learned from sharing on LinkedIn like daily this week is just ridiculous. It's like I just understand it way more. I feel way more comfortable after posting like 4 or 5 times this week compared to like the previous week. So I'm just really curious to see what continuing to share these vlogs is gonna do. Yeah, I think it's a format I'm gonna enjoy. I'm still not super comfortable doing it. Still don't really know where to look and all that, but I'm sure I'll figure that out as I go. So, um, yeah. So if there's one thing I'd like to ask you is just if I mean obviously if I continue to put out more content, and that ties back into the second point I made today. That you're gonna learn about the things that I enjoy talking about, and I'm gonna practice being more clear on the lessons that I learned. I'm gonna share more about those as well, so you'll definitely get to know me better. But I also want to like, I really genuinely want to find out what seems relevant to you, what stands out. Like last week, I had a friend pointing out that he's interested in seeing more about what I eat, and it ties more into like the running stuff that I'm doing and the exercising. So. It's not something that I'm currently like super psyched about, but I'm definitely gonna consider putting out more content about it in the sense that I'm gonna write a blog post about it. I'm gonna maybe share some pictures on Instagram every now and then about the things that I'm eating. So it has been a main interest of me in the past, food. So now that he pointed that out, I can definitely pick that back up, and I can put out more content about that. My point being, there's only so many things I can talk about, and I'm sure we can find a balance between things that are of interest to me and are relevant to you. So, the more feedback you provide to me, the more I can like take that into account. So, because in the end, that's my intention. Um, I believe that I mean, really believe in the things that I've experienced and the lessons that I've learned, and I just would love to see you benefit from those as well. So, yeah, so that's something I wanted to share as well. So, thank you, thank you very much for watching this all the way to the end. And yeah, stay tuned for more.